5 this morning at
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a nice dry morning out there so far.
Yeah, pretty quiet. Yes, a little chilly, but not astronomically cold out there this morning. Let's take a look at the current conditions. A live view of downtown Utica from the Nexus Center camera here. And as you can see here, it is a pretty dry morning out there. Temperatures in the 30s for much of the Mohawk Valley, where we have had some clearing take place. The warmer signals are out toward western New York. 51 balmy start in Dansville, 43 out in Buffalo, 39 in Rochester. So quite a difference in the span of those three areas. But either way, today we're looking at mainly dry weather to start your morning. Yes, the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 radar shows some snow, some rain, but this is elevated moisture from a warm front. This is typical this time of year to see this signal on the radar. But again, we're looking at a mostly dry start to your day today. But we do have some rainfall arriving as we head closer to sunset, depending on location, either before or after it. We're thinking roughly 3 to 5 p.m. And then following that begins a pattern of unsettled weather. In fact, we do have some brand new information on that lake effect potential later this week. I'm going to dive into that, our latest thoughts, and potential snowfall outcomes coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We also have some brand new information this morning regarding a...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back. Time now is 5:12 on this Tuesday morning, and as we start out the day today, it's looking rather quiet. But will we see any difference in this afternoon? Let's take a look at our forecast in a minute. First off, a look at current conditions. 34 degrees out there early today. A southeast wind of around 8 miles an hour, so that feels like temperature a little bit more on the chilly side at 27. But either way. Yeah, but aside from the winds this morning, maybe some isolated frost in those hilltops that have fallen below freezing. It's not really that bad out there. Roadways are dry, going from the arterial to Boonville along Route 12. So far, pretty quiet. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar does show some elevated rain and snow showers. These aren't reaching the ground right now, but we will be tracking some rainfall reaching the ground later on this afternoon, roughly right before, a little after sunset. A little bit later as you head out to the west, a little earlier, or excuse me, a little bit later heads out to the east, a little earlier as you head out to the west. So the next 3 days, we have on and off rain tomorrow, lake effect west on Thursday, and we're looking at some impactful lake effect snow Friday morning. We're going to dive into the timeline of that. Again, we have brand new information that came in this morning. I'm going to share with you guys coming up in a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thank you. Happening later today, more than a year.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody, on this Tuesday. It's a dry start today, but we got some changes on the way for the next few. Let's take a look right now in downtown Cooperstown, a live view. Temperature 34 degrees, slightly above freezing in parts of the southern valleys early today. In the Yorkville Battery live radar indicating some elevated moisture falling across parts of the area. So let's dive right into the thick of it. We've been talking about potential lake effect snow later this week, and as we enter the winter season, I always want to give you guys a heads up on how our forecast timeline works out. Usually around 5 days out, it's too early to put out a snowfall forecast. There's a lot of moving parts and variables in the data. 3 to 4 days out, bit of a heads up. And this is that stage we're at right now. We're letting you know there could be some impactful travel, which I'll show you here in a second. And then 1 to 2 days out is when we officially put out our snowfall forecast. Now, this is a multi-day event, so we might either share of the first half of it later today, or we might put out the full event by tomorrow. Either way, we are tracking some impactful snow here. In fact, I did some updates to our travel impact. So again, we have some rain arriving this evening. Aside from some wet roads at nighttime, impacts really not that high. Scattered rain showers Wednesday, not really that impactful. Thursday, though, the winds pick up. Lake effect falls mainly west, but a few hilltop locations here locally could see some impacts from this. And then Friday morning is where I think the highest impact timing will be as a strong band of lake effect moves off of Lake Ontario and sweeps south. That process going from up here down here, the timeline takes place early Friday morning. And still, here's our thoughts of the highest impact zones. Notice here the Mohawk Valley not included in that highest total area because, again, that band will sweep south very quickly. But that doesn't mean we're out of any impacts. That band is still pretty strong when it moves south. So there's that widespread rain that moves through as we head into this afternoon and especially this evening. And there's that cold pocket of air. Look at that lake effect starting to form. And something to mention too, Lake Erie, still very warm this time of year. So we could be expecting some impacts from Lake Erie here locally. So let's dive into our Skycast. Here's the brain information today. So the rainfall arriving maybe a little early, a little before sunset. Still expecting, due to some advection right here, or a convection I should say, some heavier rainfall in the Mohawk Valley. Then by Wednesday morning, we're going to see a few spotty showers throughout much of the day, and then that cold front moves through Wednesday evening. Now watch this changeover take place. Those temperatures fall quickly. Lake effect impacting this zone right here, Tug Hill mainly. Look at this. We have some of that band from Lake Erie surviving all the way into some of those hilltop areas and parts of the Mohawk Valley, or surrounding the Mohawk Valley, I should say. But when it comes to amount of snowfall, this doesn't really appear to be a whole lot. Still blowing snow potential. Then that band right here, 7 p.m. Thanksgiving, is starting to sweep south. It's in Lewis County, Old Forge area. Overnight, it's going to move its way through the Mohawk Valley. And again, highest impact, what I'm thinking right now, is going to be Friday morning. So, your 7-day forecast, see that changeover right there? Once that lake effect begins to sweep its way south, it's going to start weakening by Friday afternoon and Friday night. So as you look ahead to Saturday, we still have some lingering snow showers, and eventually it's going to fizzle out with temperatures warming back up again into the upper 30s to mid 40s by Monday.
For this half hour, a nice dry morning out there. Meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And Eric, will that change later today?
Yes, that's right. Short answer, we have some rainfall arriving this afternoon. But for now, yeah, Gary, it's a pretty quiet morning out there. Let's take a look at the current conditions. First off, it's 34 degrees in Griffiths and Rome, a little bit to the south, 37 Hamilton. The warm spots out in western New York pushing 50 degrees, in fact 51 in Dansville, and a lot cooler as you head up to Rochester at 39. So we do have quite a difference temperature-wise across much of upstate New York. Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar does look a little busy. This is all elevated moisture from a warm front moving in. We typically see this type of setup here this time of year. But again, a lot of this rainfall, the actual rain that will be falling from the sky, will be taking place as we progress into the mid to late afternoon here today. As you can see here, just some minor elevated activity here on the radar scans. So today, you can see here it's a quiet start. Temperatures are pushing near 50 degrees. And that's not the warmest temperature we'll see all week long. We are expecting warmer temperatures tomorrow, but you can see here that rainfall beginning to move in right around sunset. Following that warm up tomorrow, we've been talking about it pretty much all week, the potential for lake effect snow following Thanksgiving. We have brand new information that came in this morning on the latest lake effect tracks, where the bands are. I'll dive into that in a lot more detail coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Rick, thanks. And don't forget that Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, in a blow to the...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise here on this Tuesday morning. As we take a look at our photo of the day, this takes us to New Hartford, back We got our taste of snowfall a couple weeks ago. This is a photo of a burning bush in snow. Quite a contrast there. There were some very vibrant colors still, even in the last few weeks, of some trees that haven't lost their leaves yet. And of course, you contrast that with the snowfall, and it's one of the most beautiful scenes to see here in late fall. So, amazing photo from New Hartford. Shout out to those of you watching from the area there. And if you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. So we have one more show tomorrow, and then of course there's no morning show on Thursday. We'll be back on Friday, and it's got me thinking about potential picture events I could be doing as in the next month following Thanksgiving. I'll let you guys know about that, of course, coming up later this week. Still, though, we have some rain chances today and tomorrow. Turning over to snow, some impactful snow by Friday. We'll dive into that detail straight ahead. Gary?
Look at all that sun on Saturday, though.
Yeah, we'll be drying up, though. We'll be seeing the end of snow rather quickly.
Something to look forward to. Eric, thanks. Crews have started work.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. It's a quiet beginning to your Tuesday, but things are going to turn a little more unsettled, a little more active as we head into the next few days. Let's take a live look at downtown Utica. Pretty dry morning out there early this morning, and the radar picking up on some elevated moisture. A lot of this, again, not reaching the ground. We're going to be following some rainfall, steadier rain moving in by the late afternoon to early evening. We'll see a lot more in terms of that detail in our Skycast here shortly. The elephant in the room is that lake effect snow we've been talking about later on this week that could prove some travel impacts. And as we enter the winter season, I'm going to give you guys a bit of a peek behind the curtain here and how we forecast snowfall. 5 days out, it's too early for a snowfall forecast. We do look at a few things. We'll let you know ahead of time. It looks to be majorly impactful, but 3 to 4 days out is where we really start to give you guys a heads up on what we're thinking is going to be panning out. And then 1 to 2 days out, sometimes 3, depending on the event, will be when we have our official snowfall forecast. So again, for later on this week, it'll likely be by the earliest this evening or by the latest tomorrow afternoon. Travel impacts, we have widespread rain arriving tonight. Again, the typical travel impacts with wet roads at nighttime. It's going to be mainly quiet Wednesday, a few spotty showers. Lake effect begins to form Thursday, and the highest impact timing is going to be Friday morning. That's when that Lake Ontario band will pass south through the Mohawk Valley. And as you see here on our lake effect snowfall map here, this is a preview of where the highest totals are expected. And you notice the Mohawk Valley outside of that blue zone. So because of that, we're going to be missing a lot of that heavy accumulation, but it doesn't mean we're out of the woods for impact. So you can see here the low pressure producing some widespread rain this afternoon and tonight. Switching over to some snowfall, mainly Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Those Great Lakes still very warm this time of year. And so we look here in the Skycast. Again, it's cloudy. Here comes that widespread rain this evening, heaviest in the Mohawk Valley. Then tomorrow, a few spotty rain showers here and there. Switching over to that cold front moving through Wednesday evening. Then we'll see that lake effect begin to develop right here. Initially northwest Utica, there's that Lake Erie band here impacting hilltops. Not very high totals initially, but the actual impacts will be strengthened once this Lake Ontario band begins to sweep south Thursday night and into Friday morning. See this right here, 1 a.m. Friday until the early hours Friday is where we're really going to start to see those impacts. So again, blowing lake effect snow Friday morning, and it's going to continue to move its way south, impacting the hilltops south and west of Utica for much of the daytime hours. Then it begins to fizzle out, lingering lake effect snow Saturday morning, drying up a little bit warming up eventually after that into the 30s, eventually 40s by Sunday. So this is a bit of a quick burst of lake effect, and then before you know it, it's going to start melting pretty soon.
Get ready for Friday, right?
Yes, here it comes.
Eric, thanks. The donations to local charities.
Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And again, a nice dry morning out there. Yesterday at this time, it was a bit damp and rainy, and not too bad this morning.
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty quiet out there. Probably the quietest will be for the next, I would say, maybe 5 days,
Oh, my.
Gary. It's going to be quite an active weather pattern ahead. Let's take a look right now at what's going on across the area. First off, a live view of beautiful downtown Utica right there. Still a bit quiet on the roadways this morning, but either way, it is a cooler one in the 30s. Not very frosty, though, but either way, enjoy this quieter pattern this morning before, as I mentioned, things turn a little more active. Now, the radar here looks pretty busy, but let me just clarify, a lot of this is elevated moisture. We see this typically with warm fronts. It is pretty dry here across much of the upstate New York region. We zoom out, you can see here pretty much same story, just some elevated moisture flowing from the clouds. This is called virga, by the way, where it falls as rain or snow, but the air near the surface is too dry, so it evaporates before it reaches the ground. The next 12 hours showcase cloudy skies turning over to some rain showers between the 4 and 6 p.m. hour here. I'm thinking maybe closer to 3 to 5 for much of the area, so either before or after dark, depending on location. Obviously, earlier southwest and later northeast. Highs approaching near 50 today, and we have another warmer day tomorrow, but then we're looking at a major cool down and some impactful lake effect snow to wrap up the week. We have brand new information that came in this morning on the latest path of that lake effect snowfall, and we'll dive into that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Brand new information this morning regarding a police presence along State Route.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back. Time now is 6:12 on this Tuesday morning. Here's a look at your forecast in a minute as you get to head out to work this morning. And we start out on the dry side here across the area. Currently 35 degrees, mostly cloudy skies across much of the region. Southeast winds at 7 miles an hour. That feels like temperature at 29 degrees. And as we progress throughout the morning, we'll see those temperatures climb quickly into the 40s. Sunrise 7:09, sunset 4:34. Roadways are dry this morning as well after a pretty dry overnight, so a little different compared to yesterday morning. And a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 radar, some elevated moisture, virga falling from the sky, not really reaching the ground at this hour. Today's highs will climb into the upper 40s, I would say mid to upper 40s for much of the daytime. Right around sunset here, we're going to see that rain begin to move in, widespread rain, heaviest in the Mohawk Valley. Then we'll see some rainfall begin to taper off a little bit with on and off rain showers on Wednesday. Thursday, lake effect snow begins to move in mainly west of us. If you're traveling toward the Syracuse area, especially South Syracuse area, or if you're heading up north into Lewis County, Watertown, that's where those highest impact zones will be. Then as we head into Friday, that's when that lake effect band really begins to set up over the Mohawk Valley. Not a whole lot in terms of accumulations in the valley itself, but I'm going to dive into the latest SkyCast data coming in, snowfall potential. Again, all the information that we have right now, I'll share with you in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thank you. Happening later today, more than a year after
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Quiet morning out there on this Tuesday. We begin with a live look at downtown Utica, where traffic just started to pick up for this morning. And as we dive into this week ahead, I want to focus on a couple things. First off, as we enter the winter season, here are some behind the curtain things to talk about when it comes to our snowfall forecast. So, heads up, 5 days out, we never trust the snowfall forecast. It's much too early, especially with lake effect. 3 to 4 days out, which we are right now, regarding the potential snowfall later this week. It's a heads up where we have the impacts pinned down. We have the rough timing of the impacts, but the actual snowfall forecast doesn't come out until 1 to 2 days. Now, you're wondering, why is it coming out so late? Well, when it comes to lake effect, I mean, this is how it's always been. The data just isn't there being completely transparent. We don't have all that information to give you a confident forecast until we can see the entire event play out. We'd rather give you the more reliable information regarding totals and just tell you about the actual impacts initially. Besides, we already know generally where most of that snow will fall, which I'll show you here in a second. But again, rain arrives tonight. Some minor impacts, clouds, scattered rain tomorrow, not really that big of a deal. Lake effect begins to form, mainly west. A few areas of snow will work its way into our area. I'll dive into that here in a second. And then, more importantly, impactful lake effect snow moves in Friday morning. The blue zones on this map here, if you are in this blue zone, you have the highest chance of seeing notable lake effect accumulation between Thursday night and Saturday morning. Notice here the Mohawk Valley out of that blue area. We could be seeing some accumulation, but much of the highest totals will be, again, in that blue area. Bigger picture shows that rainfall moving in today. It will be switching over to some snow showers, lake effect snow, as we head into Thursday evening and into Friday. Look at that right there. This is some intense snow bands moving into parts of the Adirondacks. And let's dive into the Skycast here. Here's the latest information this morning. So rainfall moves in, heaviest rain in the Mohawk Valley. It does dry up a little bit, spotty showers Wednesday. And then that cold front moves through Wednesday evening, and then we get to see that temperature drop from the 50s quickly down into the 30s. That lake band sets up north. Lake Erie providing some influence here in the Mohawk Valley, or I should say surrounding the hills of the Mohawk Valley. Blowing snow potentially, but totals really not that high initially. It's when that band from Lake Ontario begins to sweep its way south, and that'll provide our best shot for impactful snow, impacts to travel in the valley heading into early Friday morning. So, again, a recap. We have some rain developing later on this evening, switching over to some scattered showers Wednesday, really not that impactful throughout the day. And then as we head into Thursday, we will be seeing some lake effect to our west, and then that'll continue as we head into Friday. So we do have some lake effect moving in. Again, the highest impact timing will be Friday morning in our area, and it will slowly weaken as we head into Saturday.
And from that radar, it looked like Canada is going to get walloped up there.
Yeah, some pretty high totals possibly in some of those areas up north.
Wow,
yeah,
that's for sure. And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. A nice dry morning out there. Meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center. And Eric, you were mentioning that might change today, right?
Yeah, that's right. This is the last of a completely quiet morning, Gary. We'll soak in the dry weather initially. Let's take a look at what's going on outside. First off, a live look at downtown Utica. Traffic really starting to pick up right now for that morning rush hour. And it's a dry morning rush hour out there. Temperatures a bit chilly in the 30s, wind chills in the 20s in some spots. But again, nothing really to impact your morning drive today. Yorkville Battery live radar picking up on some elevated rain and snow. As a reminder, this is Virga. This is not reaching the ground. And this is typical as we see warm fronts work their way in. It's a very gentle lifting of the air in the atmosphere, and that, of course, can indicate some elevated precipitation in the atmosphere. You can see it pretty much across much of the Northeast. So today, we start out pretty dry, cloudy skies, highs approaching the, I would say even upper 40s in parts of the area this afternoon. A pretty dry day, but as we approach the evening hours, between 3 and 5 p.m., we're going to see that widespread rain begin to move in, heaviest in the Mohawk Valley by tonight, 8, 9, 10 p.m. is where that heaviest rain is going to set in. And then begins our unsettled stretch. A few spotty showers tomorrow, and more importantly, impactful lake effect snow as we head beyond Thanksgiving into Black Friday. We have brand new information that just came in regarding the latest trends of that lake effect snow. The initial idea of where it's headed. We're going to dive into that coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. In a blow to the Trump Justice Department, a federal...
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Tuesday morning. Our photo takes us to New Hartford. A great shot right here of a burning bush in snow. We had some of those vibrant reds here, and of course you have the snowfall take place last week. Had the very great shot right here of that bush. So shout out to the anonymous submitter in New Hartford. And if you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us at WKTV.com/weather/pics. Now, it's not quite, I would say, the Christmas countdown just yet. We're still going to get to Halloween too, but for those of you watching right now, an early preview potentially, running through some possible ideas on potential picture submissions as we head into December, could involve maybe some Christmas displays. Of course, dive into that as we get beyond Thanksgiving and looking ahead to the month of December. Either way, though, we look at the 7-day quickly. Rain chances later today, on and off chances tomorrow, and then we got that lake effect tracking. The latest information that just came in this morning on that lake effect snow impacts coming up. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The holiday travel week.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Tuesday morning. Dry start out there. We begin with a live look at downtown Utica, where it still continues to be a pretty quiet morning. However, later on in the day today, we'll be following the arrival of widespread rain moving through much of tonight and into early tomorrow morning. But we'll dive into that here shortly. The elephant in the room, that lake effect snow later this week. I'll give you guys an update behind the scenes on how we forecast these types of events. See here, 5 days out, much too early for any snowfall events. 3 to 4 days out is we give you guys a heads up. We have an idea roughly of the timing of the rough areas of highest impact. And then, of course, 1 to 2 days out, once we get more high-resolution information or data coming in, that's when we really start to put out those official snowfall forecasts, which is pretty typical with these types of events here. But here's the latest on that travel impact timing. So, rain arrives tonight. It has some minor impacts to travel. Obviously, driving at night with wet roadways, not the easiest, but again, that's really about it. Then it's relatively quiet Wednesday. Cold front moves through Wednesday evening, and then by Thursday, we have lake effect west of us. And some of those lake bands from Lake Erie might impact parts of our area, so that's why I increased the impact from low to moderate here locally. And then high impact will be Friday morning as that snow band sweeps from the north to the south. So there's no snowfall forecast just yet, but as you can see here, if you are in the dark blue area on this map here, you have a better shot of seeing at least notable snowfall accumulations throughout Thursday night through Saturday morning. The Mohawk Valley, largely in the clear of this. Yes, there are some impacts with that heavy snowfall moving its way in, but in terms of actual accumulations, it doesn't appear to be that high right now. Bigger picture shows that low pressure bringing widespread rain tonight and then a few spotty showers Wednesday. Then there's that cold front. It moves through, and look at this lake effect setup here. Both Great Lakes still incredibly warm. These bands looking to be very strong. So we look at the skycast here today. Again, here comes that rainfall, heaviest in the Mohawk Valley. Then a few spotty showers tomorrow. Temperatures peaking in the mid to upper 50s. And then there comes that cold front. Switching over to lake effect, as you can see here, that band really starts to form in northwest Oneida County. By Thanksgiving afternoon, some blowing snow in the hilltops, especially south and west of Utica, maybe extending as far east as southern locations of the Adirondacks. And then as we head into Thursday night, more notably, that band starts to strengthen and it begins to move its way south into the Mohawk Valley overnight into early Friday. So, again, the timing, Thursday morning, it's still mainly west of us. It starts to pick up and then it begins to move its way south Thursday night through Friday morning. And then throughout the day Friday, much of that snow falling south and west of Utica. It eventually begins to fizzle out a little bit by Friday night into Saturday.
I know what people are going to be thinking about on Thanksgiving.
Yes, all that snowfall coming
on Friday.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. The donation is joining us now. And Eric, I glanced over at that radar, and right now it's pretty clear, right?
Yeah, for now it's a pretty dry afternoon, but there's a big change on the way, Gary.
It's a sign of what's to come. Let's take a look at downtown Utica right now. And again, it is a quiet afternoon out there, dry as a bone. We still have some clouds, generally altocumulus clouds out there, so technically there is sunshine in parts of the area, but I would say it's more on the faded side. Thicker clouds as you head out toward western New York, and it's a bit balmy out, say, near Dansville, approaching near 60 already. So it's a warmer day today, and even warmer day tomorrow, but that is about as warm as we're going to get as we are tracking, again, that major cool down. The radar right now showing mainly dry weather. That rainfall begins to move in from the southwest a little before sunset in parts of our area by the mid to late afternoon, and pretty steady and even heavy at times in the Mohawk Valley this evening and tonight. We're going to talk about this rainfall, more importantly, the lake effect snow we're tracking later on this evening. Give you guys a sneak peek at our initial thoughts on snowfall totals coming up in a couple of minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Severe weather swept through parts of Texas on Monday. The Houston area was pounded with heavy rain, strong winds, and at least one confirmed tornado. NBC's Priscilla Thompson is near Houston with the latest.
Yeah, that tornado tore through this neighborhood just outside of Houston, just ahead of the holiday, and you can see some of the damage here. You have these massive trees that have come down on people's cars, people's homes, fences, just up and down the street here in this neighborhood. There are piles of debris just about everywhere, and we have spoken to people who were inside of their homes, inside of businesses when this tornado came through, and one of the things everyone has described to us is just the pressure, that they felt like their ears were going to burst and that they were just holding on to whatever they could find. One man saying he was holding on to the toilet in his bathroom, another person describing holding on to a table inside of a room as they just waited for this to pass overhead, and just as quickly as it came in, it was gone, and folks came out to see all of this devastation around them. And so right now it is the focus on cleanup ahead of the holiday. We know that some 100 homes were damaged in all of this, but I will show you the one bit of good news that we're seeing here this morning. Those bucket trucks that are out, and crews telling us that they have been out through the night trying to get power restored here for folks ahead of Thanksgiving.
NBC's Priscilla Thompson reporting from Texas. Here at home, a Verona man is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Pretty quiet out there so far today. A bit cloudy too, and temperatures slowly climbing into the 40s. Let's take a look right now in downtown Utica. As you can see here, pretty uneventful afternoon here locally. Temperature at 48 degrees, pushing near 50. Easterly wind 8 miles an hour, so that feels like temperature a little bit on the cooler side. But let's just dive right into the Skycast here, because I do have our first look at our snowfall forecast for this coming event here. So let's start out what happens this evening. So the clouds turn to rainfall. This moves in a bit heavier in the Mohawk Valley. We are seeing some upper atmospheric conditions support convergence here. Basically, a lot of that moisture combining right in this one area as well. So a bit heavy at times tonight. But it's all rain. Tomorrow, again, it's looking at an all rain system, but it's a bit more scattered in nature, not as steady as what we're seeing overnight. Then a cold front moves through Wednesday afternoon, and this ushers in some cooler temperatures. Now let's dive into the time frame of this lake effect snow. Obviously, being the holidays, very important to know the time frame of any travel implications. Now you can see here, there's that lake effect snow band. It's north and west of Utica. It'll mainly stay north and west of Utica for much of Thanksgiving. A few areas of blowing snow showers from Lake Erie. This is something that's very hard to forecast. Lake Erie lake effect here locally. We have strong enough winds. The lakes are warm enough. We just got to have that right condition to have that extend all the way out into the Mohawk Valley. But either way, the heaviest snow stays up in mainly Jefferson and Lewis County. Then that snow band strengthens Thanksgiving night, and it begins to sweep south into the Mohawk Valley. This is 1 a.m. Friday, and this is when this could produce the highest impacts for travel. So, again, no major changes here. Lake effect west, just make sure you're weather aware. If you're traveling anywhere on Thanksgiving, just have any radar handy or whatnot. Just make sure you're tuned into the forecast and make sure you're aware of potential squalls, whiteout conditions from that snow out west. And again, this will affect us here locally by Friday morning. So here's our first initial snowfall forecast. And keep in mind, this is just from noontime Thursday to 7 a.m. Friday. We are looking at additional snowfall from Friday morning through Friday evening. This will impact mainly some zones down here. But again, southwest winds carry heavy lake effect snow northwest of Utica throughout the day. Thursday, that snow band maintains strength, then shifts south overnight into early Friday, and heavy snow will set up southwest of Utica by Friday. I'm currently working on the map right now. If you're wondering what we're doing behind the scenes here, I am building that current snowfall forecast for Friday through Saturday morning. So again, this is a day-by-day event. It's not all falling in one day, so just make sure you have the latest information travel condition-wise if you're heading anywhere, because that's the key. There's a lot of people traveling in and out of state the next few days, and with lake effect, I mean, it could be sunny one moment and a complete whiteout the next. It's always good to make sure you're aware of the current conditions.
Yeah, for those folks thinking of driving Friday, maybe stay till Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, one more excuse to spend more time with the family.
Exactly. Why rush it?
Yeah.
Well, Reverend Jesse Jackson has been... NBC's Kira Simmons reporting from Dubai, and meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, everyone wondering about that forecast this week.
Yeah, that's right. When it comes to traveling, if you're flying anywhere, it depends on the day.
Yeah, green today.
Yes, green today,
tomorrow.
Green tomorrow too. Yeah, both today and tomorrow looking green. In fact, let's take a look at the flight travel forecast here. A few scattered showers Wednesday. If you were heading out before Thanksgiving, you are in the green. But if you are holding off until maybe Thanksgiving Day or Black Friday, doing any traveling those days, I do recommend against it, especially for Friday with these heavy lake effect snow bands are tracking. Now, Thursday, I might even put this at a moderate impact and put this at a higher impact over here. But just saying here locally, low impact, but you head out to, say, Syracuse or other locations out in western New York, much different story. Windy and even some lake effect snow. And again, a better shot for that impact here with some heavy lake effect snow in parts of our area by Friday. In the meantime, though, there's no lake effect snow right now. It's a quiet afternoon. Enjoy this quiet weather. It's about as pretty much uneventful as it's going to be all week long as things get pretty busy pretty quickly. 40s across the area, 50s out west, and we look at the radar right now. In fact, I'll zoom out a little bit. You actually can see this rainfall starting to move in. We zoom out here. There's that rainfall leading edge, maybe the mid-afternoon arrival time southwest, and then a bit more northeast later on in the afternoon today. So again, we are tracking a mild day, highs near 50. Widespread rain tonight, heaviest in the Mohawk Valley. All rain, by the way. Then as we head into the next few days, again, I'm tracking that arrival of lake effect snow. The latest information with that snowfall forecast coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Arizona Senator Mark.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Quiet start to the day, and so far a pretty quiet afternoon. Mostly cloudy, if not overcast skies, and temperatures in the 40s. In fact, we're pushing near 50 right now, officially 48 in Rome. An easterly wind. Not too often do we really get these exact easterly winds. In fact, those of you wondering, northeast winds are the rarest here in central New York. Feels like 44 out with that wind, and while we do have some rain expected later today, let's just dive right into our Skycast. Let's just skip all the other stuff we're talking about today, because we mentioned this rainfall moving in, heavy at times in the Mohawk Valley as we head into this evening and overnight. We got some conversion taking place right here, allowing that rainfall to really set up at a good rate. Then Wednesday, it's not going to be as steady as overnight. A few spotty showers. Again, if you are traveling Wednesday, it might be a little turbulent if you're flying anywhere, at least heading up into the sky, but realistically, no delays, anything expected, at least for much of the early half of the day. That cold front moves through in the evening. That's going to usher in some changes on the way in the form of lake effect. It really starts set in stone at Thanksgiving morning, but not here locally. For the most part, it stays north and west of Utica. Now, those of you up near Camden might get a taste of this lake effect snow briefly. You notice here, see that snowfall over us right now? That is from Lake Erie. And early in the season, with strong enough winds, this is entirely possible. But Lake Erie's snowfall is very hard to predict. You know how far away that Lake Erie is from Little Falls and Utica? So having the exact positioning of this lake effect band is even more difficult than Lake Ontario. But just a heads up, some hilltop locations on Thursday might get a little bit in terms of some blowing snow. The main story is this one right here. Look at how thick that lake effect band is. It's going to sweep south starting the evening hours on Thanksgiving, moving through the Mohawk Valley and eventually setting up in the hills south of the Mohawk Valley. This is as far as our in-house high-resolution data goes. If you're wondering, well, why aren't snowfall forecasts put out earlier? This is why. Technologically limited, and even with the fancy tools that we have, that's about as fancy as technology is in the weather world. But either way, lake effect sets up west Thursday, Friday morning, highest impact timing. So again, avoid travel if you don't have to Friday morning, as some conditions might be a little bit on the dicey side. In an early preview of our first half of the forecast for the lake effect snow, notice 12 to 18 inches in areas up near Tug Hill, the snow belt obviously seeing the highest totals right there, and a sharp contrast as you head farther south, 1 to 3 in the Mohawk Valley by 7 a.m. Friday. That band will set up south. We will have an additional map from Friday morning through Friday evening posted later on in the day today. We just have to work in a few details. Again, it's still at the very early part of this forecast, so we're still ironing out a lot of possibilities, especially if that snow band Friday moves its way back up north, how strong it'll be. Again, a lot of moving parts here. But again, when it comes to Thursday's forecast, a lot of that snow up north. And a reminder, just if you have to travel, maybe avoid it Friday morning, and maybe wait till maybe later on in the day or even Saturday.
Yeah, get ready, Redfield, right?
Oh yeah, Redfield, one of the spots.
Yeah,
a couple of feet of snow.
Eric, thanks. Well, after claiming for years that they couldn't...
News with Jason Palace.
We'll get to all those stories in a moment. First, the top story tonight is weather. A winter storm watch will come complete with Thanksgiving holiday travel. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is in the Weather Center tracking when the lake effect could arrive. And I hear rain out there right now, actually.
Yeah.
So it's crazy what we've got coming
our way. Tonight we're just going to kind of lay things out because there seems to be a lot of confusion out there about when this snow is going to happen and how it's going to affect our weather. First of all, a lot of this is not going to happen locally until Friday, or at least Thursday night at the earliest. And this is the early call for snowfall, and this is Thanksgiving Day. Again, most of us will not be seeing a whole lot of accumulation. This will stay generally to the north. So if you're traveling on Thanksgiving Day locally, again, for most of us, it really shouldn't be a problem. It's not until Friday that the bands drop southward. It could break some heavier accumulation to central New York. Until that happens, though, it's going to be pretty mild. If you're traveling tomorrow, it's wet. We're tracking some rain and some very mild conditions. We're tracking rain out there tonight. This is all part of a warm front that's going to be moving in from the south. And temperatures are warmer today. We're 47 degrees despite the widespread rain. And that's where temperatures will hold tonight. We'll stay in the 40s. It's looking very mild on Wednesday before a strong cold front arrives. And it's going to be the catalyst that brings not only the lake effect snow, but a big drop in temperature along with wind. I've got to look at the travel forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. One person and a dog are.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking widespread rain moving in from the south tonight, and it is a dreary evening. You're going to want to give yourself a little bit of extra time to get to your destination today. Maybe you're going out and doing some shopping, going out to eat, or maybe you're just going home. The roads are wet. We've got ponding, reduced visibility, and just kind of a gloomy, damp evening here in central New York. The steadiest rain is right across the Mohawk Valley, and this is slowly pivoting to the north. Again, the rain is going to be steady for the next several hours before gradually coming to an end tonight. And again, this is going to continue to impact travel across the area tonight. On Wednesday, clouds, some scattered rain showers. The rain won't be quite as steady or as widespread as what we're experiencing now. Thursday, lake effect snow will impact our weather, but this is primarily north and west. If you're traveling Thanksgiving Day, I'm not expecting any big issues on the roads locally. That changes Friday. The lake effect snow is expected to be mainly in central New York as opposed to the north and west. Thanksgiving Day looks windy and it looks cold with temperatures in the upper 30s. Flurries, lake effect snow showers are expected. Bigger picture shows a low pressure system moving in from the west. This is going to carry with it a cold front, which will kick off lake effect snow as we head later into the week. Rain continues tonight. It does come to an end after midnight. Overnight lows will be very mild. We'll be in the 40s overnight. We'll start out tomorrow morning with clouds and temperatures in the upper 40s. We'll make a run into the 50s in the afternoon. It looks like a mild late November day. A few scattered showers are possible. A cold front will be arriving in the afternoon and evening, and this will produce some gusty winds. Could see wind gusts 30 to 35 miles an hour as the front rolls through. Temperatures are expected to fall tomorrow night. And it's not until Thursday during the afternoon and evening where lake effect snow will start to develop. We'll see snow showers from Lake Erie. So what you're seeing on your screen during Thanksgiving Day comes from Lake Erie, which doesn't produce the steady, heavier snow that Ontario does. But this does occasionally cause reduced visibility at times, and that's what we'll be dealing with here Thanksgiving Day. Then Ontario comes down from the north with the winds turning into the west, and this is the primary band that we'll be tracking for Friday. So snowfall Thanksgiving Day, again, for most of us, it's only an inch or two of accumulation from Lake Erie. But you go to the north, some heavy accumulations are expected in Lewis County, a pretty sharp cutoff there. On Friday, lake effect snow drops south and it brings widespread accumulation. That band of snow sets up primarily south and west of Utica, where there will be several inches of snow. In fact, in the core of this band, there could be over a foot. So we're going to continue to monitor some of the newest information that comes in on this, and we'll make adjustments to the Friday forecast if necessary. Tonight, rain, temperatures in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, showers, a very mild afternoon, again, for November, 57. It's windy and it's much colder Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday. Again, the bulk of the lake effect snow falls Friday locally, where travel being impacted. Snow showers come to an end early Saturday, and then rain and snow showers Sunday, 36. Temperatures look pretty cold early next week. We'll stay in the 30s Monday and Tuesday.
Well, it's just cards we've been dealt. Now we got to play them.
Yeah, and Friday looks to be the big day on travel impact.
All right,
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. Just in time for holiday shopping. After breaking ground on a $2 million enhancement project at Utica's Val Bialis, volunteers are needed to patrol the ski hill. It's a volunteer team, but you would have to get a National Ski Patrol certification. Now, your job would be to ensure skier safety when the hill opens. If you're interested, just reach out to the mayor's office at 315-792-0100. They'll have more information there as well. Now, Assemblywoman Marion Buttonshaw secured money for the snowmaking equipment, and work is underway. The city of Utica will also be keeping up with the snow in the streets this winter. The DPW bought a 2011 dump truck with plows and a salter. The mayor says it's a fraction of the cost of a new truck and has been extensively evaluated. Much of the Utica fleet is a model year 1987. The mayor adds that it takes up to 3 years to get a new truck. The city is still waiting for a plow that was purchased in 2023. The 2011 vehicle is currently getting badged with the Utica seal. Time now for a first look and forecast in this half hour with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
So we are talking about some winter weather later this week. We have a lake effect snow warning for Lewis County. We still have winter storm watches for Madison, Oneida, Herkimer, and Hamilton County, waiting on the Weather Service to decide which direction they want to go in upgrading that. As far as we're concerned, though, most of this is going to fall Friday. That's the time where travel will be affected. We're tracking rain tonight. That's also affecting travel. If you're heading out this evening, the rain is coming down steady, in some cases heavy. It's creating ponding on the roads and poor visibility in spots, so keep that in mind. Temperatures will stay above freezing, so this is going to stay entirely rain. How about 57 degrees for the high tomorrow? It's going to be a very mild day. It's not going to be the nicest day, but it will be a lot warmer than it's been lately. But it doesn't last. We're back to much colder weather, and that's that transition from mild to cold where we experience wind and a cold front and lake effect snow, and that will be settling in as we head into the end of the week. If you're taking the dog out for a walk this evening, keep the umbrella handy. Temperatures stay above freezing in the 40s. Tonight's featured dog is Nala from Herkimer. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Jason, back to you.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Well, it was her.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. A dreary evening across central New York. Widespread rain continues. That includes Cooperstown and all of central New York. Temperatures are above freezing, 43 degrees. Widespread rain continues across central New York. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. This is the yellow that indicates moderate rain lifting to the north. So we'll be in the thick of this for the next several hours. Winds will be picking up over the next couple of days. Tomorrow it's a breezy day. It's downright windy Thursday and Friday. The winds will back off slightly on Saturday. Travel not impacted greatly over the next couple of days. Again, the rain is with us this evening. That could create some ponding on roadways, some poor visibility at times. Wednesday, scattered showers. I don't expect the rain to be as steady or as widespread as what we're seeing now. On Thursday, lake effect snow is primarily west, so travel will have a limited impact. It's Friday, especially Friday morning. Lake effect snow looks to be widespread. For Thanksgiving Day, some light snow showers, windy, cold, temperatures in the 30s. Before we get there, it's looking to be a very, very mild Wednesday. Skywatchers, Whitesboro 47, Barneveld 44, Cassville, Helen at 43, Sandy and Fairfield 43 degrees, Stewart and Cooperstown 43, Worcester 44, Dave and Westford with 43. Low pressure continues to advance in from the west, and widespread rain will continue this evening. We'll get some breaks, and then a cold front arrives late tomorrow. The rain continues through about midnight, and then we will dry out somewhat. It remains cloudy overnight. Temperatures will drop into the 40s. We'll stay above freezing here, and it's going to be mild Wednesday. We're close to 50 in the morning, and we'll climb into the upper 50s in the afternoon. An occasional shower here and there. Best chance of rain will be Wednesday evening. This is part of a cold front that moves in from the west. The wind picks up 30 to 35 mile an hour wind gusts with that, and it gets a lot colder by Thanksgiving morning. 8 a.m., getting up early to put the turkey in the oven. Windy, cold, lake effect snow showers. A lot of the lake effect comes from Lake Erie on Thanksgiving Day, and so accumulations will be limited. If you're traveling locally on Thanksgiving Day, I'm not expecting any big problems. It's not until you go north that you start running into some of the heavy bands of snow. Lewis County towards Watertown, 12 to 18 inches of snow. That's Thanksgiving Day and Thanksgiving night. And then as we look at the snowfall on Black Friday, the bands are expected to drop south, so the winds turn from the west to the northwest. This band will situate somewhere across southern Oneida and Madison County along the Route 20 corridor. 5 to 10 inches of snow expected Friday through Friday night. This is subject to change. This is the least confident part of the forecast because some of our models are suggesting the placement of this dark blue band may not be here, may end up being north or south. This is kind of the average position. We'll make adjustments if necessary as we get more data. Showers tonight, 43. Tomorrow, looking at showers and mild conditions, 57 for the high. Maybe a long time before we're this warm. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Snow showers on Thanksgiving Day. Again, no big travel troubles on Thanksgiving, but Friday is going to be a different story. Lake effect snow, windy, cold. Snow showers into early Saturday. Rain and snow showers Sunday. Temperatures remain cold next week with highs in the 30s. We'll be right back.
For the answer to that, Bill, good evening.
Well, we are going to be tracking some lake effect snow. Until this arrives, the weather stays mild. We're in the 50s tomorrow. We're dealing with rain tonight. But I want to jump ahead to Thanksgiving, and I want to emphasize this because this seems to be a source of confusion, especially on social media. On Thursday, a lot of this snow is not happening here. So if you're worried about traveling, we do see some snow, but it's not much. Just a trace to 3 inches for Utica and the southern valleys. 3 to 6 inches north, but even here, a lot of this happens at night. The heaviest snow will be well to the north, up towards Watertown and out towards Buffalo. So if you're traveling in those directions, you want to keep an eye on the weather. Friday, lake effect snow does drop south, and this will have the biggest impact on our area, especially across southern Oneida County and into parts of Madison County. Widespread rain this evening. If you're traveling, you'll be dealing with that. We'll be seeing more rain tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the 50s. It's pretty mild out there tonight. 45, heavy rain being reported at Griffiths and Rome. We'll stay in the 40s this evening, again tracking rain overnight. A mild Wednesday before much colder weather arrives for Thanksgiving, and also lake effect snow that we'll be tracking heading into the end of the week. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Staying on the story, the Rome man accused of shooting someone inside is getting ready to clear streets for snow. The DPW bought the 2011 dump truck with plows and salter. Now, the mayor says it's a fraction of the cost of a new truck and has been extensively evaluated. Much of the Utica fleet is model year 1987. The mayor adds that it will take up to 3 years to get a new truck. The city is still waiting for a plow that was purchased in 2023. The 2011 vehicle is currently getting badged with the seal, the Utica seal. And a day after breaking ground on a $2 million enhancement project at Utica's Valbialis, volunteers are needed to patrol the ski hill. It's a volunteer team, but you would have to get National Ski Patrol certification. Your job would be to ensure skier safety when the hill opens. If you're interested, you can reach out to the mayor's office. The phone number is right on your screen, 315-792-0100. They'll have more information there as well. Well, just in time for the holiday shopping, Engelbert's Jewelers.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Widespread rain continues across central New York. It is dreary out there. Take a look at this view from downtown Utica. This is from our Nexus cam. We got to turn the wiper blades on the camera to fix that. We actually do have them. We are going to continue to track some scattered showers here as we head into tonight. The steady rain is going to gradually come to an end. There we go. I was waiting for that. Thanks, Cam. Our director in the back has read my mind here. We are tracking widespread rain on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. This is all lifting to the north. And again, we're going to be dealing with rain here for the next several hours before things will be coming to an end. Traveling wise, just watch out for ponding on roadways. Conditions improve for Wednesday, just a few scattered showers. I know Wednesday's a big travel day. Locally, really not a big deal. A little bit of wind, but it really shouldn't be too bad. It's going to be pretty warm, too. Thanksgiving Day, also not big problems locally. There will be some lake effect, but the worst of this is going to be north and west. It's not until Friday where the bands of snow will be arriving locally, and that will cause travel issues, especially Friday morning. Thanksgiving Day, cold, windy, some snow showers and flurries, temperatures in the upper 30s. Skywatchers are in the 40s this evening. Whitesboro 47, Cassville 43. Inlet 38, Fairfield 43, and Cooperstown, Stewart with 43 degrees. Low pressure is going to be swinging through tonight. It's going to bring mild conditions tomorrow, along with a cold front tomorrow night, and that cold front's going to change the weather in a dramatic way by Thanksgiving. Rain comes to an end overnight. It's cloudy. Temperatures will be above freezing. Mild Wednesday, 8 a.m., temperatures close to 50 degrees, and we only warm up from there. We'll be in the upper 50s in the afternoon. A few scattered showers here and there. Steadier rain arrives as a cold front rolls through right around dinner time, so 5 p.m. onward. The winds will pick up, and it gets much colder here as we head into Thanksgiving morning. Scattered snow showers. Again, traveling shouldn't be too bad during the day. It looks like the bulk of the accumulation of snowfall will be north on Thanksgiving. We will occasionally see some snow from Lake Erie, so want to set the expectation here. Don't expect a completely dry day, but again, the worst of it towards Watertown as well as Buffalo. Winds change direction Friday, and that band will drop southward and set up across Madison and southern Oneida County, producing a heavy accumulation, 10 inches or more possible here. And again, this is going to take place Friday night and come to an end early Saturday. And of course, we'll make adjustments here as necessary, as that band may not be exactly in that spot, but it'll be pretty close. Showers tonight, low 43. Tomorrow, showers mild 57. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Again, Thanksgiving and Friday, cold days, temperatures in the 30s, windy. A couple of snow showers on Thanksgiving, lake effect snow Friday. Again, travel troubles locally expected Friday and Friday afternoon. Saturday, snow showers early, 31. Rain and snow showers Sunday. I know Sunday's also a big travel day. It doesn't look like the snow on Sunday will be as impactful as what we deal with Friday, and it stays cold early next week.
Lake effect, always fun. This time of
Yeah,
year.
big challenge.
All right, thank you, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. Syracuse been ready to clear streets of snow. The DPW bought a 2011 dump truck with plows and a salter. The mayor says it's a fraction of the cost of new truck. Has been extensively evaluated. Much of the Utica fleet is a model year 1987. The mayor adds that it takes up to 3 years to get a new truck. The city is still waiting for the plow that was purchased in 2023. This 2011 vehicle is currently getting badged with the Utica seal. And a day after breaking ground on a $2 million enhancement project at Utica's Valbialis, volunteers are needed to patrol the ski hill. It's a volunteer team, but you would have to get National Ski Patrol certification. Your job would be to ensure skier safety when the hill opens. If you're interested, you can reach out to the mayor's office. Phone number's right there on your screen. And the city of Utica is glowing orange tonight. Today is International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. The Utica sign is orange. Varick Street lights are orange, and several other buildings lit in orange to raise awareness. Locally, the Zonta Club is calling for 16 days of activism. Coming up on News Channel 2 at 10, tech giants like Amazon.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
It is a dreary night across central New York. We are taking a live look in downtown Utica. Widespread rain. It is going to continue for the next couple of hours. We're on the tail end of this, so all this heavy rain is going to move to the east, and we do get a chance to dry out tonight. The stage is set for some warm weather. Warm being for this part in November. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s. Breezy conditions tomorrow afternoon. The winds pick up for Thanksgiving and Friday as some colder air works in. Think about wind gusts about 30 to 35 miles an hour, and then the winds will become lighter on Saturday. But still pretty breezy here over the next several days. The rain continues tonight. In terms of travel impact, tomorrow, clouds, a few scattered rain showers, not a big deal. Not a big deal for Thanksgiving Day, at least locally. It looks like the heaviest snow that does develop will be generally west and north of Utica. But Friday morning, that's when we have high impact with lake effect snow as it drops southward. Thanksgiving Day is looking a lot colder again. Tomorrow looks pretty mild, but by Thursday it's windy. We've got snow showers. Temperatures will be in the upper 30s. Looking at the big picture again, rain continues to move to the east. We do get a chance to dry out somewhat tonight. Here comes a cold front moving in from the west. This is going to change our weather as we head into Thanksgiving. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Showers come to an end. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-40s, so it's a pretty mild night. Cloudy skies tomorrow, on and off showers. Looking pretty mild. Temperatures in the upper 50s. Our rain looks to develop as we head into tomorrow night. As a cold front sweeps through, it's looking windy and much colder on Thanksgiving Day. And notice there will be some snow showers here. That's actually from Lake Erie. The heaviest snow looks to be to the north across Lake Ontario. That band is going to produce some very heavy snowfall on Thanksgiving Day, as much as a foot in parts of Lewis County. across the Mohawk and Southern Valleys. Our snow comes from Lake Erie. We could see a trace for most of us to as much as 2, maybe 3 inches along hilltop locations. That's during the day. On Friday, this band drops southward, and it is going to set up across southern Oneida County, Madison County. 5 to 10 inches of snowfall expected Friday. And this is where we're going to see the highest impact across central New York with travel troubles, especially across the Route 20 corridor. Showers tonight, low of 43. Tomorrow, showers mild, 57. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy as we get into Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Again, travel troubles here Friday. Scattered snow showers early Saturday, and then rain and snow showers Sunday. Temperatures remain cold in the 30s Monday and Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. The kids are done at school for the week. Some folks even have taken the rest of the week off to get ready to travel or maybe even host Thanksgiving. Either way, you're going to want to know what to expect before you head out and when you come home. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, tracking all the data from the Weather Center. You want to make sure we are clear about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because there are a few misnomers going on.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of confusion about this being a multiple day event, which it is, but here in central New York, this is not going to have a big impact on travel on Thanksgiving.
Right.
What am I talking about? Lake effect snow. There's going to be some accumulation Thanksgiving Day, but it looks like the bulk of this is going to be well to the north and also to the west. So Buffalo, Watertown, these areas get hit hard with snow. But again, in central New York, it's not going to be a completely dry day. We do expect some snow showers, but I think the worst of this will be to the north. It's going to be a different story Friday. That's when we're expecting this lake effect snow to move in. And there will be several inches of accumulation in parts of central New York, including southern Oneida County. Live look at the Deerfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Widespread rain showers. It's been a mild evening. It's going to be mild tomorrow. Temperatures still in the 40s, 45 degrees. The current temperature will be in the 40s tonight. 50s tomorrow before this cold front arrives. And again, that's going to create the lake effect snow that begins on Thanksgiving. But again, locally, the worst of this arrives on Friday. I've got to look at the forecast heading into the weekend coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. We're in good shape, but there have been several weather.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. It is a wet night. Widespread rain has been hanging around for most of the night. And again, we're tracking scattered showers here that will continue. The back edge of the rain is working in from the west, so this is not going to last all night. We will get some breaks as we head towards tomorrow morning. The winds will be picking up tomorrow. It looks like a breezy day. Windy Thursday and Friday and much colder. And the breeze will be hanging around into Saturday. As far as traveling goes, the day tomorrow doesn't look too bad. Looking at just a couple of scattered showers and cloudy skies and pretty mild conditions, temperatures in the 50s. On Thursday, lake effect snow is expected to develop, and it's primarily going to be west and north of Utica. So travel will not be greatly impacted. Different story Friday. Those bands of lake effect snow are expected to drop south and have a much greater impact on travel, especially Friday morning. Thanksgiving looks colder. Temperatures in the upper 30s, windy, scattered snow showers. Mild conditions for the short term. Low pressure moving through tonight. The cold front itself that will bring big changes is located to the west. You can see it moving through Chicago tonight, and that will be arriving tomorrow night. Rain comes to an end overnight. Temperatures will be in the 40s. We'll start out tomorrow morning near 50 degrees. It's cloudy, it's mild, and we are tracking just a couple of showers. Heading into tomorrow night, the cold front arrives in the evening, and this is going to produce some wind gusts 30 to 35 miles an hour, and a big drop in temperature. Rain showers switch over to a few snow showers for Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day, on and off snow showers from Lake Erie. That's what's going to drive our local weather. The band off of Lake Ontario will stay well to the north and west. That's going to be the heavy snowfall, and it'll stay up there throughout most of the day. Thanksgiving Day, again, not a big snowfall accumulation here. For most of us, it's just an inch or two of accumulation throughout the whole day and the whole night. Heavier snow in Lewis County, 12 to 18 inches possible. Again, that's going to stay out of our area. Heading into Friday, it's going to be a different story. This band of snow is going to drop south. This is where the snow accumulates. Friday afternoon and Friday evening, especially across Madison, southern Oneida, northern Otsego, and extreme southern Herkimer County. 5 to 10 inches of snow possible with some locally higher amounts. And again, outside of that band, the typical weather, lake effect snow showers, breezy conditions with just a minor accumulation. Tonight, showers, low 43. Tomorrow, on and off showers, mild 57. So a very warm afternoon for, again, November standards. Much colder Thanksgiving Day, on and off snow showers 39. Widespread lake effect snow Friday. Again, some tricky travel 33. Snow showers into early Saturday. It's cold this weekend. Rain and snow showers Sunday. I'm not seeing any big travel issues there. The weather remains cold early next week with highs in the 30s Monday and Tuesday. We'll be right back.